Hello, good morning and welcome back to the Fish Locker out on the boat. I'm joined today by Grant from Hook Point magazine and we're going out to catch big fish. Not just any big fish, we're going to go and target great white sharks. In all seriousness. Now I've been doing my research. Grant is a bit of an expert on great white sharks. And I've watched Jaws 3 times, so I feel like I'm a bit of an expert also. So yeah, we'll talk you through the rigs and the gear as we're doing it. At the moment, we're just having a little flick around with the lure. Right tight and short, it's lovely, isn't it? This time of day. I do keep saying it, but it is my favourite time of day. We've got a long way to go because great white sharks like it deep. Yeah. Get some bait and we'll get fishing. Not a bit of land in sight. We're out a long way at the moment. We're trying to find some bait. Now for great white sharks, they eat an awful lot of things. We did stop off at the Cornish Seal Sanctuary to see if they could help us out with a bit of bait. But for some reason, they were completely uncooperative. So we decided we're going to try and catch some whiting instead. We're going to use some whiting as bait. Great white sharks eat whiting. We've steamed around for a while to find the right temperature of water, and we have found some 16-degree water, which is the perfect temperature for great white sharks. Deep water, the right temperature of water, lovely time of day, and my crewman at the moment is going to find us some prime whiting hook baits. I'm then going to run some chum out. I've made up some special great white shark chum. It's not like any other chum, it's special. It's got a secret ingredient in it. It is very similar to the video that I've already got on the workshop channel showing you how to make blue shark chum, but it's not. This is for great white sharks. I'm going to rig some rods up. I'll show you them before we send them out. Fingers crossed. While Grant continues to try and find some great white shark hook baits, some whiting, we just had a nice red gurnard. I'm going to knock the chum out. Now I just use laundry sacks and I have some pre-made frozen blocks of chum. Now I recommend I double the bags up. Some people put it inside of a bucket with holes in it because you do get some sharks, like blue sharks, that come up underneath the boat and bite the bag, and that releases all your chum all at once, and it's not ideal. Also, put it inside of a bucket and tip it into the bucket. Don't tip it out onto the deck because it just makes a hell of a mess. It's all slippy and you end up in an unideal situation. I also like to use frozen blocks of chum because as it thaws out, I feel like it slowly releases the scent. I'll just hang these over the side of the boat, and as we're drifting along, we're drifting at around about a knot. Now the tide's going to pick up a little bit. We've got wind and tide together at the moment. The key, I feel, to a successful day's shark fishing, that's any shark fishing, not just great white shark fishing, is a successful chum slick, because that's the scent that's going to bring the sharks to the boat. Now I'm going to put this over the side and you will see that as the oil is released into the water, it will create like a little glassy slick. That's what's going to bring them in. Couldn't have asked for a better day at sea today. It's lovely. I think the sun might even come out later. We've just got a light covering of clouds at the moment. My sharking rigs, it's it's a known fact that sharks, like bulls, like red. So on my shark traces, I'm going to be using a red muppet and red shrink tubing. My shark traces come in two parts. I do have a video on the Fish Locker workshop channel showing you how I make these traces, and I go into depth of explaining why I've built them like I have. You have a trace body and a hook length, detachable hook lengths, because sometimes, even though I'm using circle hooks, these are, I think these are 12-0 or 14-0 Mutsu circles, and I've crushed down the barb. I've crushed down the barb because shark fishing in the UK is catch and release. Other areas, other countries in the world, they keep the sharks to be able to eat, but here in the UK we release them. That is just for easy release. Sometimes if the circle hook goes through a part of the jaw where you can't unhook it with a T-bar, you can pull the whole hook out and pull the whole trace through the hole. So yeah, that's why they're detachable. Also, this area around here sees the most wear. This is where the shark's teeth are going to be rubbing. This is where the most waxing about. So if it was all one trace, I might only need to replace 2 feet at the end. This all might be good. Where instead of losing the whole trace, I'll just change out another hook length. When my crewman manages to find me a decent sized whiting, then we will get a whiting bait out. Until that point in time, I'm just going to tidy everything down. What we want to make sure is everything that we're going to possibly need will be right to hand. Everything else that you don't need right there, right then, needs to be put away. Just because you don't want to be tripping over things, you want everything to be organised. You never know what you could be hooked into. Well, great white sharks, what size do they reach? £1,000?
And the rest, yep.
Yeah, you never know. Everything from being a £10 blue shark all the way up to being a £1,000 plus great white shark. So, yeah. Need to be ready. Need to bring your A game. Grant has found another lovely red gurnard. Now, I happen to know that great white sharks don't like eating red gurnards, so we're not going to use him for bait. But what we are quite surprised at is there is no whiting around. We've been fishing now for a good half an hour and we haven't caught any whiting. Now, anybody else would probably say that's because the tide's quite slack. I personally think it might be because there's a great white shark in the area and they've all gone off the feed because they're all worried. Who knows? We will fish on. We have something playing with one of the baits. Now, the type of bite that we're getting is just like a great white shark bite. Coincidentally though, it's also like a paw beagle bite or like a blue shark bite. So it really could be anything. We've got a bottle float fishing out at well, he knows he's hooked now. If you want, I will hand this to you and I'll bring all the other rods in. Don't let go. I'll come beneath you.
You got that?
Yep. We were still fishing a couple of rods. For the baits. So now while Grant plays this potential great white shark, I'll bring the other baits in.
Yeah, it's slightly bigger than any blue I've caught before, John.
Yeah, we knew they were there somewhere. What could it be though? Is it going to be a great white shark? We are fishing currently in 88 metres of water. So bringing these bottom baits in, there is a long way to bring them up. What does it feel like? Does it feel like a blue or does it feel like a great white?
It doesn't feel like a blue. But it's hanging around under the boat like
It's gone under the boat. Tell you what, yeah. Just like the film. Yeah. It's not a smart fish, it's gone under the boat.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
See the way that Grant's playing that fish there? In that you lift the fish up and you wind down. Lift and then wind.
On the leader.
I think you've got 10 metres of leader. Don't be surprised when it gets to the side of the boat. It goes for another dive.
There he is.
Oh, it's not a great white shark, but it is a nice blue shark.
It's a very nice blue.
Right, get ready, he'll go for another dive. He needs to unwrap and then he'll go for a dive. Right. That's why we use a decent length wire trace. Get ready.
I'm ready.
Here we go again.
Yeah, it didn't fight conventionally at all. He's a good size.
Yeah, I would put him at being up there towards. Oh. Come again. Oh.
There he goes.
Yeah.
First of the day.
So unfortunately it wasn't a great white shark, but it was a nice blue shark. We'll get them baits sent back out and see if we can't find something bigger. I did have a spinning rod over the side, just in case there were any little blue sharks around, whilst we're targeting great whites. And found one. This is going to be interesting fishing in this depth of water, one.
I might have to consider what the line class record is on great whites there, John.
Yeah. I've not landed it yet, but yeah, there's an opportunity for it. In fact, what I'm going to do is, while there's sharks around, if you just take this for a second, I'm going to try and run that bait out. So I've got a bait fishing at distance. All we're using for bait on the other rod is a mackerel. Just a mackerel flapper. Fishing for blue sharks, there is no need to go too heavy. There's no need. I've seen people before fishing with 50-pound stand-up gear. That is a nice blue for about £40. That's what I was expecting the first one to do. Usually they'll come in like that, blue sharks, they'll come in and come towards the boat, and then they'll take a good look at the boat and they'll decide, no, I don't want anything to do with that, and then they'll go for another dive. Just the same as before, it's just playing it up, winding it down, playing it up, winding it down. You ready?
Yeah.
Gonna go again. Yeah, they're lovely looking fish, aren't they? Right. See if we can't T-bar him off this time. Because like I said, we're not targeting blue sharks today, we're targeting great white sharks. If you want to grab that GoPro there, mate, if you just put the rod down, I've got the shark. That fish there, I would put that at being best part of £40. Them teeth. Like a goblin shark almost, isn't it? Ready? There it goes. Two blues. We'll keep fishing. The lighter spinning setup, we just had that blue shark on there. It's a conflict inshore and it's the 50 gram. And it's a slammer 4,500. All I've got on here is I've just got £30 braid and I've put a bit of a heavier leader on. Now the wire trace that I'm using for this, you'll notice that It's still in 2 parts, but it hasn't got a lead on it. So it's just like a free-flowing trace. And I've just got a little poke on them. This is just for us to have a little bit of fun with the blue sharks while we're waiting for the bigger sharks to arrive. We've just had a little shark in the slick. Now, at the moment we're on slack tide. There's no tide and there's no wind. So we're not really doing anything at all. You can see a big glassy area of scent behind us. And you can just see there, the yellow float right at the back. There is a shark's tail slapping it. You see it cutting the water? Yeah, you won't be able to, it'll be like a speck. But yeah, there is a shark in the water. Not a great white shark though. But just by having a shark in the slick, that is a good thing. Because if anything else shows up, already having one there is competition for them. There you go, here. Might even be 2 sharks. Because one was over here and then one was over there. Yeah, like I was saying, we had a fulmer out by the floats. And all of a sudden he took off. He wasn't having any of it. Now I don't know how they know, but they know there's a shark around. Yeah, you do find that when there's no tide going on, no tide and no drift, sharks can be quite sluggish. If we can keep him with us until the tide starts to flood again, you might find that as soon as the tide starts to move, he'll come on the feed. Could have hand fed him then, he was only 6 feet up the front of the boat. The little fish that we just had around the boat, is still around under the boat. And there's a shark just taking this furthest float.
I'll get ready to get the other one in your shot.
It's still there.
Still there, is he?
Playing with it. Oh, no, one here.
2 on.
Yeah, one on this funny rock right there. Yeah, this one's on.
Oh yes. Oh, he's nice. That's probably the one that's hanging
Practically
around.
hand fed that one, didn't we?
Yeah, that's the one that's hanging around.
Doesn't know he's hooked yet. He's going to realise he's hooked in a second and he's going to go.
He's realised he's hooked.
Now he's realised. And there's one on the orange float, mate.
Yeah.
One on the large liner.
This one?
Yeah, the orange one.
Oh, yeah, he's gone under, isn't he?
Pick it up and start winding. Start winding. There you go. They were there.
It's a nice fish, John.
Yeah. Think they're just blues though.
The great whites are very inquisitive, so the action of all these blues might draw them in.
Yeah. You never know, we might get a blue eaten by a great white shark as we're playing it. It's not unheard of. The key at the moment is making sure you don't get the lines crossed. How far down do you think we are?
I'm on the leader.
Right, so you've got about another 8 metres to go. What are we looking for? Another lift, you might see him. No chance.
It's a good one, this one.
Is that a shark, is it?
It's a better one, yeah.
Right, well, I'll try and get this one hooked in. This is what I was saying about having everything prepared, because I've got the gloves that I need, I've got the T-bar that I need, and I've got the camera, because you haven't got time to be messing about when you're like this. gaining on yours here?
Yeah, steady. Got the leader back again.
I think we're wrapped up.
Are we?
Yeah. I can feel grating on my line.
Clear now?
I think we might be lucky. No, we aren't. We are. You bring the rods together.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, the twist should work its way up to the surface. Can't see for the bottle. Just stay down. Bring your rod down with it. Bring your rod down. I think that's us. We might be free. So I'm letting man play out so I can unhook yours.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going for it.
Yep.
He was off.
He's not in.
Right.
As soon as he sees the surface, it's fine.
As soon as I mentioned unhooking him, he was off.
Didn't want to come close to you.
Probably crossed paths before. You never know. There might be a great white shark somewhere and he's just seen it and bolted. There is no proof to support that, but it's what I choose to believe. As soon as I can get hold of that wire, put that rod down, take hold of this rod.
Yep.
I'll do that fish. I've let my fish swim deep. Got it?
Got it? Right.
Yep.
Wait for now.
Yep.
Rod down.
You want to take hold of that one?
Yep.
It's a scrappy one, this one.
Yeah. Oh, I think I see why.
No, yeah, it's hooked in the corner of his mouth.
Oh, is it?
Just scrappy. Oh, and he spat the hook there.
Yeah.
Well, I'll count that as a landed fish because I had hold of the leader. I don't know if you got to see that there, but the shark at the side of the boat, it had wrapped up a little bit in the fight. And as I was unwrapping it, it managed to slip the hook out. But we had him there at the side of the boat. I will just try and angle you across a little bit. So you can see the next one.
There you go.
Brilliant, thank you. Just lightly hooked, right in the corner of the mouth. Perfect hook hold. Just lightly hooked, right in the corner of the mouth. Perfect hook hold. There you go, this is the difference between playing them out or letting it. Tired him right out. Right. There he goes. There he goes. Let's get some fresh baits out, see if we can't find something bigger. Whilst fishing for bait, we've had a shark just pop up literally at the back of the boat. I don't know if you can just dodge to the side a second, mate. Can you see where that orange float is there? There's a shark around that float. We are bang on slack water. There's no drift, no tide. He's sat underneath it again. There he's come to the left. You see him?
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, there he is, just coming under the line now. Straight across there.
I'm going to see if I can't flick a bait out with the spinning rod and get hold of him. We're just praying to catch a whiting because I want to catch that great white shark. And I'm sure that the reason why we haven't caught one yet is because we haven't caught a whiting.
Can't think of any other reason.
Yeah, as far as I can see, that's the only explanation. So come on, I'm relying on you.
If the great white beat us here, it might have eaten all the whiting before we got here.
There is that. There's another shark. There's a second one. Left hand side. Just behind this fulmer.
Yeah.
Oh, they're everywhere. Where's he gone? He's there on my bait. He's taking it.
Right, get this out of the way.
I practically hand fed that one. We're at the mercy of, usually now, a shark pulling us around because there is no drift, there is no tide, we are sat here. And this shark is at the moment towing the boat about the place. So you might have to bring that all the way in. It's going to be right underneath us. That one.
Yeah.
So this shark has actually towed us towards our floats. So we're going to have to bring one in now before I get this line wrapped around it. In fact, I'll give you this for a second.
Yeah.
I'll sort all that out. Where's he going? Down.
Yeah. There's your answer, John.
That's where he's going, down. While he's over there, see if I can't put this bait in. Because where there's one, there will be more.
Tire out. Do you want to finish the fight? Do you want to take it back?
Yeah, go on then. Or you might still be going for another 10 minutes yet.
That was your fish. You can take the rod back.
I don't imagine you'd be handing me the rod back if it was a great white shark, would you?
Nah, if it was a great white, I'd be claiming the fame.
It's not all about claiming fame. It's not what great white shark hunting's all about. It's not about the fame. Fishing for blues on a light setup like this is a lot of fun. Just not getting away from it.
No. It's not going anywhere, is it?
No, I didn't like that. I just give him another click of drag. Led into it. Didn't like that. Take my sunglasses off before I lose them in the water. I think he's well played out now. Okay. You've eaten my muppet. I'll have that back. Tell him from Yorkshire. down the bend, turn the hook. Back. Tell him from Yorkshire. Down the bend, turn the hook. He was lazy, that one. Of course we're just on slack, sorry. Of course we're just on slack tide and there's literally no drift. I was lucky, I pretty much hand fed that fish. I saw it down there and I dropped the bait in front of it, and as it turned on it, just by fluttering it in the water, just with a rod tip, I managed to see it come up and take it, and I struck the hook into it. It played away hard, but it would have been harder if there had been a bit of tide running. What's that, 5 now?
Yep, 5. 5 to the boat.
Right, still no whiting.
No, we've got to get a whiting. We're not going to get a great boat without a whiting.
Yeah. We'll soldier on. It's not the whiting that we want, but we'll give mackerel a try. Yeah, I think great white sharks, I'd eat mackerel. Now that we have a suitable great white shark bait, I'm going to run out my great white shark rig. Now, everybody knows that great white sharks like rubber ducks. So I'm using a rubber duck float. Very special one. Same trace as before, but with my red muppet and with a mackerel flapper on. I can't see any reason why that won't catch me a great white shark. It's got, that's the one. That's what's going to happen. Now the setup that I'm fishing at the minute, it's my tuna popping rod. It's a Conflict offshore tuna casting rod. It's a 30 to 180 gram, and I've got a Spinfisher live liner. I like the live liners because it's got the bait runner function on there, so it'll let line out, and as soon as you want to engage the drag, just turn the handle and you're at full drag. Just run this bait out the back and cross our fingers, I guess. I was thinking earlier, I mean, how big a one would you like to catch? Would you like to go like full 1,000-pounder straight off the bat, or do you want to?
I think you got to go 22 foot, just so people don't turn around and say it's a funny looking poor beagle. You got to go proper size, haven't you?
Because a lot of people, a lot of the sightings around the UK have been put down to and have been kind of put off as being a poor beagle shark, because they do look very similar. In fact, there have been no absolute sightings of great white sharks in the UK.
No confirmed. Not within 1,600 miles.
That was it. The closest one ever came, wasn't it?
Yeah. Southwest.
They do tag quite a lot of great white sharks. I mean, there's not very many of them in the world. We do have perfect conditions for them, though. We have the right amount of food source. We have the right water temperature. Actually, there's no reason why they shouldn't be here, apart from there's none of them been sighted. But that doesn't stop me believing, or everyone else for that matter. Yep, some people don't need proof. Like religion, I mean. Like religion. Don't need proof to believe. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, that's got to happen. Look at it. Look at him sat there. Come on, Donald.
Out there doing his job.
Come on, Donald. Get me a great white shark. There we are. Traps are set.
Right.
You ready, Donald? What are you after? That's a fulmer. That's a proper seagoing bird. I don't know if you can see, but he's got like a little tube just on the end of his nose. See it running along the top? They can actually drink salt water. What they do is they filter it out and they sneeze out a high salt concentration, a high concentrated salt solution. Same family as albatross. You heard that, Donald?
Told you we saw one, didn't we?
Yeah. We were just talking about was seeing a shark just from a distance, and we've rigged up Grant's spinning rod. Now I'm going to have to try and bring all of our other rods in real quick.
I'll play it deep for a while.
Yeah. I don't think you've got much of a choice.
Oh yeah, this is a choice.
That's one of the problems about fishing rods on the bottom here, isn't it? It just takes so long to get them back up to the surface.
Change my mind, this is a lighter spinning rod than the other one.
What reel are you fishing there?
It's a Sidewinder X-Spin 6.
Oh, right. Well, I'll get a little bit of footage of that first. Got it. If you want to do the same again, get the GoPro, mate.
Yeah, I'll just put this on loose drag, okay?
Nearly had the chum bag then, didn't you? You take your belly.
Nice fish.
He's a very nice fish. You want to just pass me that T-bar there, something there? Thank you. Over the wire, didn't I?
Yep.
Well done. That's tell you what, it's a whippy rod. How would you even say that? Tenru.
I pronounce it Tenru. Most people seem to say Tenru.
Tenru Bulldog 702.
Yeah, it's a powerful rod. I use it mainly for coalfish over in Norway, off the boats. It's the reel I wanted to give a good look at. Try and test these reels on things like bass. I mean, any reel we buy in the UK should be able to manage a bass, shouldn't it? Like to push them beyond their limits.
I'm glad you said that, because I do the same. Any of the tackle that I've got, I like to think that I test it to everything that it could possibly do. Often past its limits. Quite a few times I've had to replace stuff because I've snapped it. I think actually, yeah, maybe won't do that. Get another bait out. Fished really hard for the last couple of hours. We have drifted a total of around about 6 miles today. As you can probably see, the weather is changing. We've had an awful lot of rain showers moving through, and the wind and tide are picking up. It's getting an awful lot rougher. Yeah, they've managed to evade me today. Yeah, that is one thing that great white sharks are known for being, is quite tricky to catch. But I'm not beaten yet. I'm sure they're out there, even though literally there is more proof of Bigfoot and UFOs in the UK than great white sharks. I am sure that we will find one. I'm sure of it. Donald has let me down, Donald the duck. We're going to keep on fishing these baits. We've got 4 good baits out in a minute. We're going to keep fishing these baits for another 10 or 15 minutes while we pack away. If we catch anything worth showing, I'll put it in. If we don't, then I won't. I hope you found this interesting. All the very best. We'll see you later.